My name is Abdurrahim Shemseddin, and I was born in Waco, Texas. My father was named John Mays, and my mother was named Melissa Davis. We had I had two brothers and one sister. Both of my parents are dead. My brothers and sisters are dead. My mother passed when I was 6 years old. My father passed in 1980. My sister passed in 2002. My brother passed in 2010. I've had a pretty good life when I had a Christian life. I was raised up as a Christian. My father and my mother was Baptist. My sisters and my brothers was Baptist. We came from a Christian church, and they all was Baptist. So that's what I know of now.
Could you tell us about when you were kids, your childhood, nice or sad memories passed together with your family when you were kid?
We're going to have to set up for Imam's class.
Okay. Run that question again.
Go ahead.
Your nice or sad memories when you were kid.
Yeah, the memories when I was a child coming up. I came up in a Christian environment, but I didn't go. I'm one of the ones that didn't go to church too much. You know, that wasn't. I just didn't go to church. My father was the one that tried to raise me because my mother passed when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, so somebody else had to raise me. So my sister, she was 7 years older than me, and my brother was 7 years older than she was. But our friends, our family members raised me until I was about 16, and I had to run off home because I didn't have no place else to go. And that's the way that was all about at that particular time. So, but that's the only thing that I can say about my family, because they all passed, and I wasn't nowhere around nobody that I know to take care of me, so I was on my own from 16 years old until now. But that's the kind of life that I had to live when I was back south. I'm from the South, and I didn't have too much schooling. You know, it's not the idea that I didn't come up in school, because I didn't have nobody to raise me. And I did it, Allah blessed me to go on my own through the trials and tribulations. So I made it, and I got a job working learn how to drive a truck. And I drove truck cross country through my whole life. That's how, and then I come into Islam. This is part of me was missing. I didn't have too much schooling. The only schooling that I got in my whole life was Islam. I learned how to read and write in the school. I didn't go to school. I went to the 3rd or the 4th grade. I couldn't learn. So when I accepted Islam, they taught me how to read and write. So that's the only thing I know.
Okay, Islam will come after that. So, which jobs you did in which places, and jobs, profession? What was your profession?
What is it? My position?
Occupation, I mean job.
Truck driver.
Truck driver.
Yeah.
Could you talk about those a little bit?
Okay. I drove truck. I used to drive commercial trucks across the country. I used to Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, New York, Portland, Oregon. So those are the places that I used to have to deliver stuff from one state to another. So I drove the truck for about 40 years. That was my lifetime, 40 years, in and out of my work. I had a good record. See, I didn't have no problem with that, but that's the only thing that I do. I didn't know. That's the only thing I knew to do, you know. So.
What about you are married? You have kids, children? Do you have children?
Yeah, I have two. One is 47, and the other one is 37. The rest of them is my stepchildren, you know. But on my own, that I don't have but two.
Any of them convert to Islam? They
No,
convert to Islam?
no one in my family. There's no one in my family but me.
Inshallah they convert also.
Yeah.
Okay, now you talk how you became Muslim and
I became a Muslim. I went to prison, and I heard about Islam in the prison. And when I accepted Islam, and it's Islam in prison. And when I accepted Islam, we couldn't walk around or go to the masjid. We had to walk. The brothers used to come and walk us around the yard. We couldn't gather in a room or come get together on a football team or bad team. They used to have to walk us around the yard one at a time to give us Islam. So I accepted Islam in prison. And I used to have to walk. We used to walk around the track, and the brother would be giving me Islam, talking to me about Allah, and trying to learn me my prayers. Just walking. And that's why I got interested in Islam, because it was altogether different from Christianity or any other thing that I was in. So it motivated me. It gave me something else to look forward for, you know, my hope. So all of that other stuff that my mother and my father was talking to me about, it didn't move me. But I stepped into something else, and it just motivated me, because I heard that, and I wanted to know what it was all about. So, and when we have the party of it, so this is the part that where we drew a line. So what happened to them when they started that Islam? They're talking about it. They wouldn't give us no room, and they would lock us up. They catch us teaching Islam on the campus. They lock us up, brother. They would lock us up. I stayed here, but once I accepted Islam, everything changed, man. Everything changed, because they didn't want us to have Islam. They did not want us to have Islam. So I scuffled from 1969 in Islam up until now. I was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I come into true Islam in 1975. Honorable Wajdi Muhammad, Imam Wajdi Muhammad. That is my true Islam. That's when he gave me the Qur'an. And we started studying the Qur'an in 1975 under the teaching of the Honorable Wajdi Muhammad, under Prophet Muhammad. That's where I started. I learned how to say my prayers in the jail. I didn't know, because I couldn't read. I couldn't read, brother. I couldn't read or write. I was 45 years old before I could write my own name. And I couldn't read. The brother used to be in the cell next door to me, and he used to call me to the cell and say, brother, it's time for you to say your prayer. And I couldn't say it. I couldn't read it, give it to him on paper. He said, well, I want you to stand up to the bar and listen to me. And he used to, every 5 times a day, he would get up to the bar, and he would call their dime, and he would repeat. He would say the Fatiha, and I would repeat it after him, verbatim, mouth to mouth, ear to ear, until I learned the Fatiha. That's, and when I come out of prison, I just made my trip.